Hey, by the way, tonight's game, New York wins that outright.
You know he's on top. Million subs, he never gonna flop. Out of Chicago, where the streets don't sleep. Betting on games, making cash real deep. Crystal ball for sports, he knows the lines. He's a sports aficionado, the money he finds. From football to basketball, he's always on point. Predicting winners never disappoints. He's got that hustle, that Chicago vibe. Making moves on the streets, cash on the side. With E, you know it's always a bet. He's the king of the game, never forget.
Hello and welcome to the Etoft21sports Show for September 23rd. How is everyone doing? My name is Eric. I'm the man behind Etoft21sports. Absolutely loaded episode for you today. My boy Jake, aka the Money Badger, is this week's special guest. Him and I have a little Jets, Dolphins back and forth going on. Absolutely love talking shit to him about this game on Monday Night Football. Looking forward to that. And Gino has his horse racing bet of the day from Santa Anita. Opening week over at Santa Anita. Always the fun place to bet, aka the great race place. Before we get all that, I'd like to say thank you to the sponsor of the show, ProphetX. Guys, if you're not using ProphetX, go to the App Store, download the app. Peer-to-peer betting is the future of sports betting. Use promo code ETOFT21. That way they know old Uncle Rico sent you. Now let's see what Gino has cooking for us for his horse racing bet of the day over at Santa Anita.
Opening weekend at Santa Anita. Let's take a look at Saturday. A couple different races where we would think about going for. I think the best bet's going to come in race number 8, where we look at the number 2 Nesso's Last Hurrah. They're going to be going down the hill here, 6.5 furlongs. And this is a horse who's gone a little bit longer, showed some speed going a mile last time out, can sit off the pace a little bit if need be, just in really nice form right now for the third start off the long layoff. That's the number 2, Nesso's Last Hurrah, 9-2 on the morning line. If we get anything in like the 3-1-ish range or above, I think that's a fair price. That's going to be race number 8 on Saturday at Santa Anita. Make sure you head to drf.com for anything you need when you're playing the races. Good luck.
Make sure to give my boy Gino a follow at It's Me, Gino B. I'm on him. I'm with him on drf.com, breaking down a team-by-team breakdown. So make sure to look for that later on drf.com later in the week. Now let's welcome this week's special guest from the Sunshine State, the guy that has a shirtless picture of Tua over his bed, my boy Jake, a.k.a. the Money Badger Jake. Jake, how you doing today, my man?
First of all, that picture has been taken down for about 11 months now, so no longer have the Tua photo, but I'm doing good other than that. Other than that, it's another day, another dollar, so can't complain.
So, dude, how you been, man? It's been a minute, dude. You know, everything good in your neck of the woods, dude?
Yeah, everything's good. Did a lot of traveling in the summer, just like up north and to see family, and it's always a blessing and a curse. You know, it's good to see everybody, see friends, see family, but you also just want to get back into your routine, be under your own roof. It's good waking up under palm trees every now and then. So I definitely missed being home. But other than that, finally settled back down and excited. Football season has been fun so far.
Football season's been great. And I'm telling you what, you have not lived until you have lived through a 12 and under youth football game, my friend. Like,
I played in them.
Let me paint the picture for you. Okay, I'm gonna paint this picture for you. Went back to Michigan. You know, I live in the Chicagoland area. Went back to Michigan. My nephew is 10, playing in the 12 and under. He plays wide receiver.
So he gets no action.
Wide receiver, yeah, middle linebacker. Already a prima donna bitching about how he doesn't give the ball enough. And so I go there to watch the game. They're getting fucking boat raced. It is 30-12 at halftime. Now the rules are there's kickoffs, which are basically just an onside kick every time because none of these kids can kick.
Yeah.
And you cannot rush the kicker on the extra point. So basically it's just kids like jumping up and down, waving their arms, whatever. So now they have not made an extra point. My nephew's team have not made an extra point. Cannot make one to save their fucking lives. Somehow it gets 30-18. Somehow it gets 30-24. Now it's getting a little interesting. My nephew had one ball thrown his way. He was wide open, quarterback. No, he had two. One of them was severely underthrown. Another one was severely overthrown. Like, the quarterback could not find his way. So they get the ball back. They go to the shotgun. No one on the team but my nephew can hike the ball in a shotgun formation. So they take him from wide receiver to put him in there.
Put him at center?
To center. He hikes the ball. The quarterback throws it to a wide receiver who's wide open. Dude, there's no one within 20 feet of this guy. The kid drops the ball.
No.
So then, I didn't tell you the best part. His coach got thrown out 3 plays into the game.
So, got thrown out of the game?
Thrown out of the game. Like, I was arguing a horse collar call. And so then they put my nephew back at wide receiver. The quarterback throws the ball. My nephew had the dude beat, catches it, scores a touchdown. Okay? So now the game's tied at 30-30 with about 30 seconds left. The quarterback, who's the place kicker, goes to kick it. He kicks the ball. It hits one of the offensive linemen in the back of the head. And, dude, he just dropped like he got shot. Like, he went boom. So now there's a 10-minute break for concussion protocol.
Did the ball go in?
Oh, dude, it wasn't even close.
I thought you were going to say it hit off his helmet. Flew uprights, game over.
Jake, wasn't even close. So now it's 30-30. Squib kick. The other team has it. And the other team has a quarterback. And this kid can sling, dude. This kid was throwing the ball all over the place. And so he throws the ball to a kid, moving about 10 yards. So now they're like at the 45 of my nephew's team. Another play, they're about at the 35 now. There's 10 seconds left. Quarterback drops back. My nephew is on the opposite side going to rush. Before the game, you have to get weighed. If you weigh more than 150 pounds, you have like a armband, and as soon as you touch the ball, it's dead. He's going against the biggest kid on the other team, on the other side, trying to rush. When I thought he died, he got pancaked to fuck, dude. Like, he just dropped. But I'll give the kid credit. He gets up. Instead of rushing the quarterback, he drops back into coverage. Fucking the other quarterback threw the ball. He ran across the field, tackled the guy at about the 5-6 yard line. And like, the game's over. So it's a 30-30 tie. And, but he's not getting up. My sister flips out, like yelling in the stands at him. My nephew's embarrassed as fuck because he was just tired. Like, he was like, Mom, I was just tired and laying there. Why are you embarrassing me? Dude, it was so funny. Now, this kid hates to lose, okay? Like, when I say hates to lose, he reminds me of me. Like, I just hates to lose. After baseball this past summer, my sister was like, do you want to go get ice cream? And he goes, no, we lost. Why would I want ice cream? And the whole car ride home, my sister was saying in the back, it should have been me up who made the last out. It should have been me. Should have been me. Whatever. Like, really intense kid. A dad comes up to him in the parking lot when we're walking in cars. He's like, hits him on the shoulder pad. He's like, kid, you played a great game. You came up with some great plays, dude. I just wanted to come over and just like say hi, tell you to do a good job. My nephew looks him dead in the face. This kid, I'm guessing like 40, 45-ish at most. He goes, sir, you know we didn't win the game, right? And then just got in my car. That was it, dude. It was. I looked at the guy. I was like, I'm sorry, man, but like, dude, it was. Dude, I'm telling you, that's how I spent my Saturday, and then my sister just moved. She has no fucking internet. I'm trying to grind out on my phone what's going on in this Miami, Ohio game we're talking about, with my other nephew trying to take my phone so he could download and play Roblox. So, dude, I'm telling you, man, like, I was so far off the grid on Saturday, I had no idea how I did. But, dude, that's what's going on with me, man. Just a lot of youth football.
Who took the youth team to tie? It was probably like plus 3,000, plus 15,000.
Who took the fucking over, dude? Like, cheap. Like,
I mean, what are those lines usually set at? They got to be relatively high. I mean,
like, dude, like, I tweeted out, no, I Instagrammed out. I was like, the first half over a 14.5 sales over.
Slammed.
Like the second half is opening up at 17.5. Dude, I had like 10 people DM me, take the under, take the under, take the under, take the under. Dude, flew over. Flew over.
Wow.
But we're not here to talk the joys, the utter joys of youth football. We're here to talk some NFL. We need to look back at week 2. And I'm not gonna lie, dude. I have two. I had a takeaway, but then I typed in another takeaway. So I have 2 takeaways I'm gonna ramble on, but you're the guest. I'm gonna let you go first, my friend. What is your takeaway?
Yeah, I actually have 2 as well. I know this is NFL oriented, but I actually have one for the MLB. I'll start with the football one though. I mean, I can't believe how poorly Chase Brown is playing, like especially with a backup quarterback in. You know, usually you're going to rely on your star running back to go and get, I mean, even if you have a shitty line, you got to average more than 2 yards per carry. I think I have it written down here. He has 47 carries for 93 yards. Like that is almost comically bad. So yeah, I was high on him coming into the season. I'm like waiting for him to turn it on, but who knows what's going to happen now. It's a sad thing to see. And now I'll get into the MLB takeaway today. They actually just approved that robot strike zone.
I love it.
I mean, I think it's stupid that you can only have 2 of them. I think the ump, I feel like we talked about this months ago in the beginning of the beginning of the MLB season when you had me on the show. Why does that ref or ump, I'm sorry, getting the sports confused. Why does the ump not have a buzzer in their pocket? You know the box is up. You know that it's going to show everybody if it's a ball or a strike. Why not when it's a strike? If it even touches that strike zone, they get a little buzz. Strike. If it doesn't touch the strike zone, it's a ball. There's no arguing. And everyone's like, oh, that's the name of the game. But realistically, it has a huge factor on the game. I think they'll never take it away just in case there is some sketchy stuff that goes on behind the plate. You know, they still want the ump to be able to, you know, have their way here and there. But at the end of the day, how is that not an implemented full-time thing where there should never be a ball that's a strike called ever unless the batter is swinging? Now, the ump should still has to be out there to make plays at the plate, and like a robot can't do that. I think the ump should still actually be back there. But I don't understand how it's just now you get 2 per game, apparently. And if you get it right, it stays with you. So you could challenge every single ball that they call a strike. And if it's actually a ball, like you get your challenges remaining until you get 2 wrong, basically. But I think it's good for the game, man, because I mean, look at a 1-1 count. You call a bad strike, it's a 1-2 count, and that's huge, you know, versus a 2-1 count and a 1-2 count is a major difference in the MLB. So I think, I mean, it's moving towards that direction, but I think this is definitely a good thing for the game, you know?
I agree 100%. I mean, like, I'm so happy now with the NFL. They have a tracker in the ball where you can just tell if it's a first down. Yep. It always pissed me off how there'd be a kick and you're relying on a guy to look up while running and judge where the ball landed. You know what I mean? When there's those punts out of bounds. It just I really feel like this right here, what MLB is doing, I think there needs to be more of. What NFL did with the ball, I totally think there needs to be a lot more of. And I think it's going to be for the good. I think it's going to be for the better because you're right. There's hitters count. There's a huge difference between 2 and 2 and 3 and 1. Absolute huge difference. And I've been on the bad end of some bad calls with some pitches, and this is going to help me out a lot.
It takes a lot out of handicapping too, because a lot of people will do their handicap based on the umpire that's behind the plate. I personally don't look too far into it, but certain umps have a bigger strike zone. Other umps have a much smaller strike zone, and like that's going to totally take that out of the picture especially for player props, strikeouts and outs, over under for outs, stuff like that. But
I mean, like, it's totally gonna take out. I don't know if it will. Yeah, it's only gonna take out like, oh, this guy goes over. You know what I mean? This guy favors the home team. You know, it's gonna kind of take that stuff out of the game. So it's gonna be interesting to see at the end of the day, after a couple months, how the sample sizes works out. I have 2 takeaways. My first one. The Titans are the worst coach team in the league. picture this, down 17-6 in the second quarter, ball in the court's 39, 4th and 1, coming out of the timeout. Okay. So the Colts call the timeout. It's 4th and 1. You're down 17-6. You're flipping 0-2 on the season. First of all, why the hell are you even not going for it? Like, you have nothing to lose at this point. Your season's been a total disaster. You've been a laughing stock. This is going on year 2. Just go for it. Callahan's still making up his mind, rolls out the field goal unit late. You're sitting on 2 timeouts. So literally, like, I know there is a rule you can't call 2 timeouts in a row, but if the other team calls a timeout, you can call a timeout. The Colts called a timeout. He's sitting on 2 timeouts. There's 20 some odd ticks left. Just take the timeout. He doesn't do anything. Moves it back 5 yards.
To punt, right?
No, tries the field goal and misses it. I have no idea what you're doing and how you're an NFL coach. Now, first of all, I love the Colts. I took the Colts plus 400 to win the South. My main concern with them was Howard in the secondary. 99 out of 102 CBs. Flat out awful. Why isn't Callahan, who's supposed to be this offensive genius, why isn't he scheming plays to attack the biggest weakness of the field? I'm sitting there, I'm like, why the flying fuck aren't you attacking Howard? Like, what are you doing? I just don't get it. They're 3-17. Will Levis regressed it under him. I wasn't high on Cam Ward at all, and he's actually gotten worse. His throwing motion is the same. That hasn't changed. His interception to start the game on that screen pass was a pass he never should have attempted. The touchdown pass that everyone's glamoring over about that happened last week against the Rams, where he threw it off his back foot across the side of the field to Erik Almirola. He never should have thrown that ball.
You can't throw that ball.
He never should have thrown that ball. He's just not progressing. This is another quarterback that is regressing under him. It's to the point now they're going to have to do another restart. The truth is, Callahan only got his job because his last name and what his dad did in the league as an offensive line coach. And he set the Titans back. When you kind of look back and look at the Titans, they have a good offensive line. They have Ridley and Erik Almirola, the kid from Stanford, 2 good wide receivers. Tyler Lockett, a good route running slot wide receiver. They have Chick Almirola, a solid tight end that can move the chains. Tony Pollard, a good running back. They have a good defensive line. Yep, Calvin Ridley. They had Snead in the back. There is way too much talent on this roster for it to be as goddamn shitty as it is. And they're just going to be in another reset. And I'll tell you what, Ward is probably not going to be the guy. Callahan's over his head right now, and he's not doing any flavors. Titans are done, and they're going to have to reset the clock. Now, this is my other one. Now, look, dude, I got my old school. I got my red I got my Red Wings Tigers crossover hat on. I got my Detroit driven t-shirt on. I love Detroit. I bleed Detroit. And the one thing that stood out to me last night, the Ravens are not winning the Super Bowl with Todd Monken as their offensive coordinator. We've seen this before. A couple years ago, Chiefs gave up 113 yards per game, 27th DVOA. In the AFC Championship game, the Ravens ran the ball only 18 times. Gus Edwards, who is their leading running back, who was having a great season, averaging only 4 yards per carry, had 3 carries for 20 yards. Monken's game plan coming out, throwing against a defense that is top 5 in the NFL. Literally, what are you doing? Let's fast forward to this season. I know everyone's going to be like, dude, they dropped 41 on the Browns. They're fine. Browns are one of the better defenses. They only had 250 total yards.
It wasn't an offensive explosion.
Yeah. There were so many turnovers that flipped the field in that game. That was the big issue. Last night, Lions have struggled against wide receiver ones all season. Zay Flowers didn't have a target to the second half.
I have him on fantasy. You're preaching to the choir.
In a game, they had a chance to tie in the second quarter, okay? Because there was that they scored a what was it? touchdown, punt, whatever. Lions get
touchdown, 3 and out, 3 and out, touchdown.
Had the 90-yard play. Ravens drove right down, get the ball at the 2. Okay, first down at the 2. First down, Derrick Henry run. Second down, Derrick Henry run.
I remember this.
Third down, Derrick Henry run. Fourth down, hey Lamar, roll out to your right, just make something happen. Like, what the hell is that? And then you look at the Lions' creativity where they pitched the ball to St. Brown. St. Brown then pitched it to Gibbs. Where is your creativity? Where is your outside thinking in the box?
And you have Lamar Jackson.
And you have Lamar Jackson, who is fucking phenomenal. You know, the Lions' weakness is the secondary. Monken didn't attack it once. And the reality of the situation is this. The Ravens are 1-2 going to Kansas City. If they drop that game, they're sitting at 1-3. Historically speaking, teams that start 1-3 make the playoffs 8% of the time. Lamar is great. In my eyes, him and Allen, 1-2 quarterbacks. Not even close. They are light years ahead of everybody. And I feel that even though I don't like everything that the Bills are doing, the Bills are at least giving Josh Allen a chance to win. I do not feel that's the way that the Ravens are doing Lamar right now. They they have no wide receiver. Zay Flowers is way too small to be your lead guy. Mark Andrews is getting up there.
Rashad Bateman.
They signed that
kid number 2, number 3 guy. He's not a number
they brought in Hopkins, who's like, dude, it's not 2015 anymore. He's not any good. It's just they're just absolutely wasting a transcending talent in Lamar Jackson. And when we look back at it in like 10 years from now, Lamar seriously could be this generation's Dan Marino. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that to like poke a pun on you because it's the Fins, but he's
honestly, I take it as a compliment, though.
You know, a great quarterback that just
won't win,
just can't win. But I mean, I'll make the argument that when you kind of look at the rosters, the Ravens roster is better than those Dolphins roster. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. They're just not giving him the playmakers.
You want to know what else to piggyback off of that? Like, what is their defense doing? You know, like I thought their defense was going to be top in the league this year. Yeah. I thought they were going to be elite versus the run, and then they got playmakers in the defensive backfield, and they're just getting pieced up by good teams. But I mean, I'm going to talk about them a little later too. But like that Bills game was absolutely ridiculous on the Bills' end. Obviously, as cliche as it sounds, the Derrick Henry fumbles are not helping the causes. Like, Ravens should have won that game almost 100% of the time. I think ESPN had them 98% chance of winning or something. Like, Derrick Henry can't be fumbling the ball. Maybe you should take off both of his damn sleeves that he wears and hold on to the ball with bare skin. Like, again here, huge. I mean, they weren't winning by 15 or whatever it is this time, but, like, they were winning the damn game, or they were down by a score driving, and you put the ball on the ground. And where is he putting the ball on the ground? In the red. These teams are getting the ball in their red zone already, and it's not like it's the Cleveland Browns. You know, you could fumble against the Cleveland Browns, which he did, and be okay. You're doing this against You're doing this against the Lions, and you're doing this against the Bills, two of probably the best offenses in the league. They're going to score and capitalize on that, and especially late in the fourth quarter. Like, it's crazy how he could play so well during the entire game, and then crunch time puts the ball on the ground. Like, blows my mind. And then the defense doesn't do them any favors, you know?
So let me ask you this here. So they signed Derrick Henry in 2024. Okay, yeah. And I'm just pulling up right now, trying to get. Well, let me. All right, so I'm looking at wide receivers that signed in that free agent market. Now you tell. Yeah, I mean there's Ridley, Mooney, Gabe Davis, Mike Williams, Curtis Samuel, Hollywood Brown, Kendrick Bourne, Josh Reynolds. You know what I mean? Nothing really like, oh shit. But my question to you is would they have been better off to kind of stick with like whatever running back you could get and sign Calvin Ridley?
I don't know. I don't think they're better off doing that. I mean,
Because
Derrick
then you
Henry
have an alpha wide receiver.
I get that. Derrick Henry is still I mean, look at what their offense did last year. Even without whatever that wide receiver was, like they were still the top passing offense. Lamar Jackson has the best QBR, I believe. They just said it last night or whenever they played.
Mm-hmm.
That he is the best QBR of like all time right now. Do you know that?
I did not know that, my friend.
Like he is the best QBR. That does not include anything that he does on the ground. The best quarterback rating of all time. Now, maybe or maybe it's with inactive. No, I'm pretty sure it's all time. I mean, now I have to look it up. But look, I don't think that they made a bad decision bringing him in. I think Derrick Henry is still an absolute weapon with him and Lamar in the backfield. They're a great 1-2 punch. Zay Flowers is good. I mean, the offense was wheeling and dealing last year. They're going to do it again. The offense is going to do it again. I mean, we're talking about them losing, but they still score. They still put up some points. And again, then I think it might be the defense that has some issues, but like they're not fricking and fracking well. Let me say that they're not fricking and fracking well at all. It's like it's a snowball effect. Derrick Henry fumbles, the defense gives up a touchdown immediately. Like there's no, let the defense get a 3-and-out really quick and pick our boy up after he messed up for the third time this season. But like that Bills game, what did he run for, like 200 yards and 2 touchdowns? Like that's
the
pretty sick.
Didn't want to tackle. That was a weird game. I'm not going to lie.
The Bills defense is another thing. They're terrible, the Bills defense as well. Like they're not good.
We got some questions. Gonna bring those up before we go into our bets. Was that stellar Bears performance a flash in the pan, or can they sustain that level of play?
Before I answer that, I did look it up. Who has the best QBR of all time currently? Lamar Jackson holds the highest career NFL passer rating with a 103.1 rating, surpassing Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, and is considered the best all time based on this statistic. Interesting.
Dude, absolutely, really interesting when you think about it.
Right. So what was the question here?
Was that stellar Bears performance a flash in the pan, or can they sustain that level of play?
What do you think? I mean, I have my opinions on the Bears, and they're not too high. So
I had the Bears. Full transparency, I had the Bears. I bet the Bears money line. I gave it out last week on the show. I had Bears going in Circus Survivor. That got me through. I used a shitty team. My issue with them is their defense sucks. They have way too many holes in their defense. They got some random turnovers. I still don't trust their offensive line. And Ben Johnson, he's still learning how to coach, if that makes sense. He's a great play caller, no doubt, but managing the whole room, I think he's still kind of figuring that out. And there's going to be peaks and valleys in Caleb Williams this year. We need to treat this as his rookie season and kind of see, because last year was a wash for him. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be like have another top 10 pick this year. I don't think they and it was against the Cowboys, whose defense is fucking awful.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, what are we looking at here? It was versus the Cowboys. Now, they were also pulling a lot of shit out of their ass, that flea flicker. I mean, that was probably one of the ugliest, prettiest flea flickers.
That was so
like that ball had hang time going back to Caleb.
That was
what are they doing?
The Cowboys lost CD. Once they lost CD,
yeah.
And why do you give why
are you handing your best player? Yeah,
with your freaking slot wide receiver, and my freaking pinky finger's bigger than him. You're like, what the hell are you doing? Another question, RG, as a Packers fan, should I be worried?
I don't think so.
I'll tell you what. I was talking to somebody today, and we're talking about this game. And his comment to me was this: name one game where Jordan Love went out and won them the game.
This year or ever?
Ever. And I'm just kind of like, I was trying to think, you know what I mean? I guess you could make an argument like when he went down to Dallas and McCarthy was the coach in that playoff game, he played pretty well. But there was that game they should have played the Lions 2 years ago in the NFC Championship game. They were up big in San Francisco, and Love kind of gave it away with some bad interceptions. I really could not think of one off the top of my head.
I mean, yeah, I'm right there with you. But with that being said, I mean, their schedule, they have room to build some momentum here. They're going to go play Dallas. Then they have their bye week. Then they're going to play Cincinnati. Then they're going to play Arizona. Then they're going to play Pittsburgh. Then they're going to play Carolina, and then Philadelphia, and then the Giants, Minnesota, which I feel very indifferent about them right now. Even if JJ McCarthy comes back, like I don't know how I feel about them with him at the quarterback spot right now. Mm-hmm. Then Detroit, Chicago, Denver, Chicago, Baltimore, and Minnesota again. So right here in these next 2 months, they have room to build momentum. I do think they're a good team, but they also have to get healthy. They got some guys that are hurt, you know. Can't rely on Kraft to go for like 203 touchdowns.
He's banged up. Like it didn't look like he was going to play going into it. Can you buy low on the Ravens to win the Super Bowl? So this is the thing that blows my mind. Okay, I'm looking at the Super Bowl odds right now. Hear me out. Bills plus 400. Okay, I get it. Ravens plus 600. I got the Ravens plus 750 after they lost to the Bills in week 1. Now they're at a lower price. They just lost to the Lions. And if they lose next week on the road against Kansas City, there's an 8% chance of them making the playoffs. And they're plus 600. That is a mind-blowing price. Couple more. Here we go. Are the Chiefs really going to start 1-3 with 2 home losses, or do you have them pulling out the win over the Ravens this week?
I think they start 1-3.
I'll be honest. I have a plus 380 for them not to make the playoffs. I think they start 1-3 too. I don't think they have enough offensive firepower.
You hit the nail on the head there. I also think, especially this week against the Ravens, like the Ravens, I'll tell you this, it's not like they're going to roll over and die here. You know, like they have one really bad loss to the Bills that they should have won, who is what? The favorite to win the Super Bowl. So, okay,
yeah.
Right. And then a Detroit team that they're probably not far behind after what they did the last 2 weeks. They're
10-1 right now.
They're 10-1. It's not like it's a bad loss. They were still in the game and they made mistakes, but I think they're outright better than Kansas City. Kansas City does this where they just like play boring football. They rely on Patrick Mahomes to like save the day. And I mean, he's only a human being. He's not going to be able to like pull magic out of his hat every game. Like there's going to come a point where they're just going to crumble a little bit, you know?
And there's some bad looks. Like on a potential fumble, a backwards pass where Mahomes threw it to Pacheco and balls on the ground, Pacheco just spikes down. Like that ball could be live. Kelsey and Reed getting in it on the sidelines. Optics wise, it doesn't look pretty in Kansas City. Like it really doesn't look pretty. One more question. Are the Chargers for real finally? Can Jimbo bring them to the promised land?
I have them winning the division. So I do. And I placed that bet before the season even started. I mean, what I like is the trust that they have in Justin Herbert. Like they're just letting him go out there and sling the rock. Third down with 1:40 to go. Like even though they should be running the ball, they know that he's going to make the right decision and he's going to take a short completion. He's not going to stop the clock, and he's making the right decisions. I like the Chargers a lot, dude. I really do. Like, look at me smiling like a little schoolgirl talking about the Chargers. And I could care less about them in the AFC. I don't want to see any AFC team do good, obviously. Yeah. But also seeing what the Chiefs are doing right now, I think the Broncos, Bo Nix has the worst rating. Like, in all 37 quarterbacks that have a PFF rating.
Yeah,
He's the worst. You saw that?
Like, it's awful. Like, it just blows my mind.
And then sometimes the Raiders look like a high school team, so I just don't even.
The Raiders are
weird
weird.
right now. It's in shambles.
I don't understand what they're doing at all. Like, why aren't you giving Ashton Gentry the ball in space? Like, where are the dump off passes to him? Come on, Chip Kelly. Let's start thinking. All right, so let's dive into the bets here. Already a half an hour in, and you and I are just bullshitting back and forth.
Yeah, but it's been a while. So
let's dive right in. But before we do that, we got to look back and see how we did last week on the show. Good week last week, going 5-1 on the show. Lady D hit the Commanders -3, 49ers money line, and the Chargers -2.5. Old Uncle Rico hit the Bears money line, Jets +7, but lost the Titans +3.5. For the show, we are 10-8 this season. So good week last week. Hopefully for it to continue, and very interested to see your thought process on your bets. You're going to Thursday night football with your first bet, my friend. Tell us what your bet is.
I am. Well, first I have to acknowledge the 5-1 day. I mean, it's a hard act to follow there, but I'm taking Seattle on the money line at -115. I got that at BetMGM. We have a nice little NFC West matchup here. I like to look at, I'm a stats guy, so I like to look at cold stats like passer rating, yards per carry, stuff like that. What defenses are allowing. So Seattle, and I'm going to go through all of the plays that I have in this format. So I figured I'd just put it out there really quick since this is the first time I'm on here for the NFL. Seattle, offensively, they're 8th in passer rating. Sam Darnold is showing that last year wasn't a fluke. I'll say that too. He's doing his thing, and him and Jigba have a great connection right now. Yeah. Arizona's defense, they're not terrible. They're 11th in opponent passer rating. Seattle on the ground, kind of terrible. They're 28th in yards per carry. They haven't gotten that going yet. And Arizona is 10th in yards per carry allowed. So I don't see Seattle having much success running the ball. Looking at the other side, Arizona on offense, they're 16th in passer rating. Seattle is 6th in opponent passer rating. So really good look for them defensively. And then Arizona is 17th in yards per carry. Obviously, that was with James Conner. Unfortunate to see him go down like that, but that will definitely put a wrench in their run plans moving forward. Also, Seattle is 3rd in yards per carry allowed. They're only allowing 3.2 yards per carry regardless. So I don't see Arizona's defense really doing much in this game, period. Arizona should have no run game, and there's a huge mismatch for Seattle defensively in general. Plus, Arizona, they played New Orleans, Carolina, who they beat by 7-5. So it's not like they were blowout victories that they handled how they should, how a good team should handle those. And then they lost to a Mac Jones-led 49ers team. So not good looks from my point of view. I'm not impressed with Arizona. And again, this is with them being healthy. And then Seattle is coming off of 2 dominant wins. One of those was versus New Orleans, but they crushed them. And then they beat Pittsburgh pretty handedly. And then they just had a loss, or not, they didn't just have the loss, but they lost to Brock Purdy and San Fran in week 1. So very similar matchups here. If I'm getting this at almost a pick 'em and I'm getting Seattle on the money line, I think they have the better quarterback. I think they have the much better defense. And I think that this line will probably move to 2.5 by kickoff on Thursday, in my opinion. So that's my first play. I like Seattle on the money line.
It's an interesting game. Like, I don't know where my head is for there. I've kind of been going back and forth. The thing I like about Seattle is there's a couple of coaches I really like, and they hired Rick Dennison, who's like this offensive line coach guru. He kind of came up with the zone system, and they're running the ball a lot better. Like, that was my main thing. And Darnold actually looks somewhat competent. So, Arizona does have a lot of injuries in the back four. So I can see that. I could definitely see Seattle getting it done there. Now I hate this question. Shit, the Tigers lost. Are they really going to blow the AL Central? LOL. Yes, they probably are going to blow the AL Central. Hopeful. I'm hoping they can at least make the playoffs. You know what I mean? That's my birthday's in October. There's nothing better in October. Cracking open a nice beer, watching a little football, watching a little MLB. And I'm going to say this. My wish for the MLB playoffs is this.
The Yankees get in there, and then we go crazy.
No.
Right.
Don't have games on NFL Sunday. Just say, fuck it. During the wild card round, we're not going to touch it. NFL, that's your day. You know what I mean? Like,
They do it on Mondays now. There was 3 MLB games on Monday because of Monday Night Football.
Yeah, but it's during the day. You know what I mean? It's not interfering. Yeah. They'll put this game like Sunday at noon, Sunday at 1. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Come on, not everybody has YouTube TV. Let's go.
Let's dive it in. My first bet, I'm going to the ATL. Give me the Falcons here, plus 1.5. I was really hoping this line would move a little bit, but it's actually going the other way. This kind of tells me Daniels isn't going to play. Going through social media, I see that he's walking around on the brace. If you can't walk and not have a brace on, I don't think he's going to be playing. I don't think the Commanders are going to be rushing him back. I think the Commanders kind of look back and kind of say, hey, you know what? We need this kid for later in the season. I think what we have can get us to that. And I also say all this all the time. Gambling is what? Buying low and selling high. Is there a team lower right now than the Atlanta Falcons? They just got blown out by 30 to the Panthers. The effing Carolina Panthers beat them by 30.
They couldn't even score against them.
They couldn't, dude. But here's the thing. Teams that lose by 30 or more points the previous week over the last 20 years are 55.4% against the number. Now, there's this weird – in football, there's this weird rule of 17 where if it's a team that beats a team, loses by 17, plays a team that won by 17 or more. So you lost by 17 or more, playing a team that won by 17 or more. Buy low, sell high. The team that lost covers the number at 60.9% of the time. That's the definition of buy low, sell high. The Falcons are averaging 2 points. Oh, and one more little trend. I'll get to that trend in a little bit. Sorry. I was jumping ahead of my notes. The Falcons averaging 2.7 sacks per game. Can the Commanders protect whoever is under center? Schefter tweeted out earlier that Terry McLaurin is banged up with his leg and he's getting a second opinion. An aging wide receiver getting a second opinion on his leg is never a good thing in my eyes. And if he's out, how are the Commanders going to be able to move the ball? Noah Brown? You know what I mean? They really don't have many pass-catching weapons in that offense. A.J. Terrell could be back from his hamstring injury. If he does, that really boosts Atlanta's secondary. Washington's back end is flat bad. When we look at their starting cornerbacks, 96 out of 102 and 91. This is going to be the perfect bounce back spot for Penix and London to get it going. London's getting healthier each week. The Commanders give up 4.2 yards per carry, 100 rushing yards a game. Bijan is going to be able to get it going. And when I looked at it, they have 5 starters on IR right now. Multiple defensive injuries. Here's another trend. Teams coming off getting shut out. 62% against the number. When you look at Dan Quinn as a favorite, 41%. When he's a road favorite, dude, that drops all the way down to 32%. Everything points to the Falcons. I'm just going to take the Falcons here at plus 1.5. And I'll be honest, if it gets to where Daniels miraculously is going to play and this jumps up to 3, I'm just going to reinvest. I'll reinvest and I'll play the money line at a better price. I like the Falcons here. I'm not too high on this Commanders team, to be honest, especially with that defense.
Yeah, I had I just needed Drake London to cash a plus 1,500 touchdown parlay. I had A.J. Brown. Who was it? No, I'm sorry. Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, who both cashed in the first half. So I was like, just need Drake London. He's definitely going to score, especially when they were losing. I was like, they're going to be airing it out. And I benched Trevor Lawrence, which didn't matter for Penix and fantasy. I mean, it was like a 4-point difference, but still. That really shafted me hard, those two. So I'm pulling for him, but I had to stay away from this game this week. If I had to lean, I would be with you. But I have this thing where when I get screwed the week before by a team, it takes me at least like a full 13 days to make amends with them and earn my trust.
To move on. You're a sensitive guy, man. To move on, I get you.
I'm a sensitive guy. There's more games out there.
You're talking about fantasy, and like I'm in this guillotine league. Dude, I promise, if someone drops out, you'll be the first one I reach out to because it's so much fun.
I'm in one.
Oh my God, they're a blast, dude. And it's so funny. Like, I don't know why, and maybe it's because I'm the commissioner. Anyone that's on the cutoff line, dude, they're just texting me nonstop, dude. Just like boom, 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 boom. Texting, and it is so
chopping block, it's called.
Like, dude, it's so funny, like hearing people like go back and forth on like you know what I mean? Like they don't know, like they're both texting me, but to just
one
side and the other side, it's fucking comical. And like, dude,
like Penix is gonna get me chopped. Drake London's gonna get me chopped.
Oh, dude, the dude this week, you look back, he sent me, he's like, I should have never played Brian Thomas Jr. And like, dude, his team was pretty solid. Like, he had Pittman on the bench. That was his downfall. He did, but with his wide receivers, because he spent, you have $1,000 budget, he spent $500 on Justin Jefferson. You know, so it's like you kind of have to manage your team and everything. And
yeah, we have $1,000 budget, so same difference.
So it's just kind of one of those things. And this week, like, I have two Seahawks. Like, I have Cooper Kupp and I have Kenneth Walker. So
hopefully my boys get it pull through for you. You might have to sprinkle a little bit on the money line. Just go Seahawks all the way, baby.
Jesus, dude. Like, I had the Seahawks. I didn't have the Seahawks in Survivor. I had Chicago in Survivor. I almost did the Seahawks. But, yeah, definitely like one from Seattle. Going to be investing in that game. Next one, I absolutely love this one. You are on my boys.
Yeah, I am. I think there's a lot of 9s out there, but I got I think FanDuel's the only one with an 8.5. I got it at -115 right now. I mean, I would play this all the way up to double digits. I think they're going to absolutely smoke. They're going to smoke on Cleveland. Detroit, second in passer rating. Jared Goff has a 120.2 passer rating right now. We know that he's playing at home, so that's probably going to be even better. Cleveland, 25th in opponent passer rating. So as good as that run defense is, which their run defense is first in yards per carry allowed, that passing defense is an issue right now. And then the Detroit is 7th in yards per carry. So they could also run the ball, as we saw. I mean, Montgomery and Gibbs just went nuclear the other night. But they are going to be playing the number one run defense. And I can't even knock the Cleveland run defense because they've seen Chase Brown and the healthy Bengals. They saw Baltimore with Derrick Henry, or should I call him, Derrick Fumble Henry. And an elite Green Bay offense, well, what we thought was elite up until that point with Josh Jacobs. So it's not like they're playing bums here and ranked number one and holding these like mid running backs to whatever they're holding them per carry. They're just a huge mismatch in the air, and Detroit will be home where I just mentioned they usually light up the scoreboard, especially through the passing game. Then you look at Cleveland, they're dead last in passer rating, waiting for them to make that QB change. I mean, I'm sure you saw the Giants are starting Dart this week. Did you see that?
I love it.
Yeah, no, I love it too. I think him and Cam Scatterby are going to be something special in that backfield. But Detroit is 30th in opponent passer rating. So it's not like they have the best pass defense, but at the same time, you're playing the worst passing offense,
That
so
goes back to my Ravens rant. Why the fuck were the Ravens throwing the ball? Like,
I know, yeah. I mean, that's why I was saying I was going to touch on some of this stuff in some of my analysis this year. So I didn't want to go too in depth when you're ranting. I figured I'd let you rant. And then Cleveland can't run the ball either. They're 21st in yards per carry. Detroit 17th in yards per carry allowed. So like that defense does have tons of holes, but still better than Cleveland's run offense. Detroit, their defense, not that good against Green Bay, Chicago, Baltimore, but all their numbers are still better than these Cleveland numbers. What stands out to me the most here is Detroit is 4th in time of possession. They're averaging over 33 minutes per game with the ball. So regardless of how poor their defense is playing, I don't trust the Browns offense, so that's not a worry. Plus, I think Detroit is going to have the ball most of this game, and I believe they will try to absolutely crush them just to prove that the Green Bay game, so they got smoked by Green Bay week 1. Now Green Bay just lost to Detroit. I mean, just lost to Cleveland. So therefore, I think Detroit will try to make a statement by absolutely crushing Cleveland here to kind of get their credibility back from that Green Bay loss, if that makes sense. Dan Campbell is, I mean, he's just like that. So I like this all the way up to 9.5, 10. I think 8.5 is a gift, and I think it's probably going to be closer to that 10 number come Sunday.
Someone said this about, I was talking to, I do the circa, the 5, whatever it's called. I forget the name off the top of my head, where you pick 5 games. Me and the guy I do it with, we're having a discussion like teams, and he wants to do the Lions, and his comment is, Dan Campbell's a dick that will run up the score.
Especially at home.
Yeah. So, and Flacco against his defense, like at the time of possession was huge. One of my big takeaways from that game is how much the Lions controlled the trenches with that offensive line. That was my big worry point for the Lions going into the season, their offensive line. And they absolutely dominated the point of attack. Wasn't even close. They were running at will.
And I still can't overlook the fact that Detroit was a top defense in the league last year before every single person got hurt. Like the first 6-7 games, they were elite. And then like they were playing their practice squad in the playoffs. But
they're playing guys they hired off the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I still can't overlook that this early in the season. Like if there's a time for that defense to turn up and kind of stack those numbers as well, it's this game against like a terrible Cleveland offense.
We got some comments. Seahawks rule.
Let's go. Love to hear it.
Hard for me to trust Sammy Smallhands, but they are playing great. That's actually kind of funny.
Can't hold a Big Mac.
I kind of like the new DC for the Lions. Yeah, I like him too. I think he brings a little bit more scheme than Aaron Glenn does. Aaron Glenn tends to just run that same old cover one. Lions had some long-ass drives against the Ravens. O-line looked great for the Lions.
Yeah, they did.
My next bet, I went to a player prop here. I'm getting this one early. Give me TJ Hawkinson here over 35.5 receiving yards. Seahawks have a real problem defending the tight end. Right now, they rank 20th in DVOA against that position and 27th overall in just pass defense. And we look at the results. Last week, Hunter Henry had 8 catches, 90 yards, 2 TDs. Week 2. Now, the Seahawks don't really feature the tight end. They run 2 of them, Barner and Arroyo. They combine for 57 yards. The Jets really don't run that much to the tight ends. Taylor and Rutger had a combined 36. Okay. What is that? Averaging 61 yards per game, give or take, for opposing tight ends.
Something like that.
Now, Carson Wentz historically leans on tight ends. He targeted the position 23% of the time over his career. Last week, Hawkinson was second on the Vikings in targets, had a target share of 25%. He tied Jefferson for the lead in receptions and finished second in receiving yards in 43 with 49. Now, when we look at PFF, who's covering and everything, it's either going to be one of 3 guys for the Steelers that are going to cover the tight end. McQueen has a PFF grade of 30.9 in coverage. That's 61 out of 65 linebackers. Wilson has a coverage grade of 29.8. That's 63 out of 65 linebackers. Or they're going to roll Elliott up from the secondary, and he hasn't played enough snaps to qualify for a PFF ranking, but his grade in coverage is 63.2. So that's not really great matchups for the Steelers defensively. Steelers have struggled defending the tight end. Wentz historically feeds a position. Hawkinson is clearly the second best pass catcher. This sets up perfectly. And it's only 35.5 yards. I'm on this all day. Give me TJ Hawkinson over 35.5 yards receiving. And then also, me and my boy Kyle, we have this little DFS huddle thing we're doing where we give out stuff on Patreon. I'll give everyone a little free advice here. That Sunday game, it's a standalone game overseas in Dublin. I'm probably going to have Hawkinson in a captain spot. I think he's going to be insanely under-owned in a great matchup. He has the potential to go off. So I absolutely love TJ Hawkinson, former Hawkeye great. And you got a lot of balls for taking this next one, man.
I know. When I saw
your takeaway. A lot of balls for taking this one. Like,
hear me out.
Tell us, my friend. A lot of balls. Big balls.
Plus 7.5, baby. You can get it out on FanDuel right now. Listen, it's an AFC South matchup, okay? And I'm going to get into the numbers really quick. You're telling me you're laying 7.5 with Houston against any team right now? You're crazy. I'm just going to start with saying that. They're not 2 scores better than any team in the league right now. I'm sorry. But Tennessee, yes, they're 30th in passer rating. You kind of went on a rant earlier about how terrible their offense looks, and I can't disagree with you. Houston, 12th in opponent passer rating. Tennessee, 23rd in yards per carry. Houston, 16th in yards per carry allowed. Tennessee might have some success with Pollard on the ground. I don't see them like having no success at all here. They're going to eventually have something click, and I feel like they have nothing to lose. At the same time, dude, this young Tennessee like air game, they had no chemistry going into the season. They're all young. They've never played together. You have rookie quarterback. They're going to start off slow. But week 4 to 6 is usually where you start to see chemistry start to kick in, teams start to click. And I just said Tennessee has nothing to lose. You'd think they're not going to pull everything out of the playbook that they can to get their first win in a division game. This is for basically last place in the division, like year to date. You know, they're both 0-3. One of them will be 0-4. One of them will be 1-3. All of the pressure is on the Texans in this game right now. They are the ones that had the high expectations. They're the ones that were supposed to have the best defense in the league. They're the ones that have these offensive weapons that already have the chemistry that could be so explosive, and they haven't been showing it. 26th in passer rating. That's been terrible. Tennessee, 16th in opponent passer rating. So they're actually I wouldn't say shutting down, but they're middle of the pack in the air game. The DBs aren't playing terrible, especially versus Houston team that can't throw the ball right now. So I'll give that one to Tennessee. Houston, 16th in yards per carry. Tennessee, they suck at stopping the run, 29th in yards per carry allowed. I also think that Houston will be able to run the ball here. So I think both teams will be able to run the ball, which would work in my favor. I think that if they're burning the clock, like usually you lean towards the team that's getting the points if you think it's going to be a low-scoring game, especially if it's 7.5. Both teams have played 3 pretty good teams. So the strength of schedule is very similar, but like I just said, I don't think Houston is in any place to be laying more than 1 score to anyone in the league right now. I mean, 6.5, 6, maybe reasonable, but 7.5, like I am not. It's not like Tennessee is going to roll over and like stop playing at any point. Like they know that they're playing for more than just this season right now. Houston, on the other hand, I just said the pressure is on them. Like I would take the team that is going to be playing looser, in my opinion, with no pressure on. Like they should smoke the Titans, but we've seen this tale too many times. And so I'll take the touchdown and the half a point.
So I went on. I totally get it being over 7. And I'll like if it's there on Sunday, I'll probably be there with you. Like we talk about having better remorse. I bet the Titans last week, so I'm a little bit bitter from that.
I get it. You're in the same boat as me with the Falcons, so it's all good.
7.5. I totally get it. And I went on this big rant last week about what's going on with the Houston Texans. Now, DeMeco Ryan, great defensive coach. Even though his linebacker couldn't wrap up and tackle on a 4th down and 10 that allowed Baker Mayfield to run for a first down and won the game. He tried to get more involved in the offense, was trying to tell Bobby Slowik what to do, brought in this new guy, Catling, from the Rams. This offense right now, through 3 games, DVOA, 28th overall, 28th passing, somehow 17th in rushing, even though they're only averaging 95 yards a game. That's not stuff that really leaps off the page, so to speak. You know what I mean? Where you're just kind of like, oh, damn, that's something. Now, when we look at Nico Collins, when you're talking, I was adding up these numbers. Through 3 games last year, 28 targets, 18 receptions, 330 yards. This year, 25 targets, 14 receptions, only 181 yards, and he's coming off a 104-yard game. Those first two games, absolutely brutal. They have offensive line issues. They just got rid of Gardner Johnson.
I saw that.
So that's immediate downgrade in the defense. There's some stuff going to be on the scenes in Houston. CJ is starting to develop these bad mechanics. Offensive line is bad. He's running through his rushing progression. Yeah, there's some serious issues going on there.
And I'll add, huge look-ahead game for them. So you have the Titans that clearly Vegas thinks should win by more than a touchdown. Yeah. Then you have Baltimore, Seattle, and San Francisco on deck.
You got
huge look-ahead spot. Like they're like, all right, we're going to beat the Titans. Then we got these three that we really have to win because we got to prove that we're still a decent football team. And then, I mean, I'm not saying that the Titans are live dogs here, but I could see it come down to like a field goal or a 4-point win.
It's going to come down to a fair bear field goal, probably. There's this meme going around. Remember last year, Sunday Night Football, like Stroud did the like patting Caleb Williams on the back, like, it's okay, kid, you'll get.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And now, like, he's got better stats than CJ Stroud. Our boy TC chimes in, future play, Seahawks to win the West, plus 650 to 1. That's looking pretty good, man. That West, my big thing with the West is I think all the teams make the playoffs. Like, I literally think that was my big prediction at the beginning of the season. Obviously, with how good of the start is going on with the North, NFC is going to be pretty tough. And we got the East, so it's going to be interesting to see. There's going to be probably a team with 11 to 12 wins that may not make the playoffs. That's a possibility in the East. In the NFC. My next bet, dude. Dude, you know what, dude?
Are you betting with your heart or your brain here?
I'm betting with my brain. And, dude, you know where we're going.
Now walk it out. 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 Now west side walk it out. Now south side walk it out. East side walk it out. North side walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out.
We are going down to.
I'll be at the game. So how about that?
You're going to be at the game, dude?
Yeah, I'll be there Monday night.
You're going to see JETS Jets plus 3 cross the counter. I know everyone loves to throw out that 2 is 56% against the spread overall and 56% at a home favorite. But when we dig a little deeper, when we take out the 1 p.m. starts, so he's 56% at home, 58% at home as a home favorite. When we take out the 1 p.m. starts, he's only 40% against the number at home. This Miami Heat at 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon is a real thing. When you take that out, the other team, just because with how Miami, that stadium set up, really struggles. Now, here's a trend worth noting. When you've got two teams on a 3-game winning streak, the underdog covers 61.5% of the time. Now, if I can make an argument right now,
too bad they're both on losing streaks.
Yeah. So
I thought you said winning streaks.
No, losing streaks. Sorry, losing streaks. Sorry.
I know.
Losing streaks. Now the Jets could easily be 2-1 right now. They could have beat the Steelers. They could have beat the Bucs last week, but the Bucs voodoo got them. Don't get me started on Bucs voodoo. Baker Mayfield leads the league by a dramatic fashion with turnover-worthy plays. It's not even close. Now, Tua, we talked about Knicks before. PFF has a quarterback 33. As you and I talked about, there's only 32 starters in the NFL. So
there's 36 ranked, though.
Yeah, but they have him as 33. Miami's defense has major issues in the secondary to cover up what they've been doing. They've been blitzing consistency, but the pass rush isn't getting there. Bradley Chubb, 87th out of 103 edge rushers in pass rushing. Seiler, dead last, 104 out of 104 defensive linemen when it comes to pass rushing. Robinson, 99th in pass rushing. Outside of Phillips, nobody is generating pressure. On the other side, the Jets' offensive line, when you just look at the PFF grades, except for Fasua, who plays the right tackle, they've been solid. I think they're going to be able to protect whoever is under center. Garrett Wilson is off to a fantastic season. No one's talking about it. And he's going to be matched more than likely with Stevens. And I don't think if Stevens can stop him, I don't think anyone in Miami secondary can stop him. Overall, 31st DVOA for the Dolphins, pass defense 31st, rush defense 26. Now, when we look at the Dolphins offensively, the only thing that they do well per PFF, per DVOA is run the ball. Jets are top 10 against the run, 8th overall. Now, when you look at the interior of the offensive line, Smith and I'm going to totally butcher this name, Savannah are awful per PFF. I think the interior is really going to have a hard time protecting Tua. Miami ranks 19th in DVOA against opposing wide receiver ones. Another big edge for my boy Garrett Wilson. And when you look at now I played that video to obviously be funny. But when we look at the sidelines of the Jets, there's more energy. You know what I mean? Like, people seem to be more engaged. You know what I mean? Like, Miami just looks dead to me. Like, there's people arguing on the sidelines, people making mental mistakes. I mean, that blocked field goal, blocked punt, like, that's your fucking defensive captain you're a 300-pound man, dude. Why are you trying to block that kick? You know what I mean? The block punt at the end of the game. Like, what are you trying to do, man? Like, they're just making mental mistakes. I think Mikey Mike is fired if they lose this game. I think guys have already checked out. I don't understand why Jalen Waddle, who's your best player against zone coverage, wasn't a bigger part of the game plan last week against the Bills. But yet, anytime you needed a pass play, who did you target? Jalen Waddle. You know what I mean? He scored the touchdown. There's a couple key third and fourth down situations. Why are you going to Jaden Waddle more? I think the Dolphins have regressed. They're at the bottom of the barrel. I think the Jets could be 2-1. And I like what Aaron Glenn's doing. He's holding people accountable. Like you saw in the week 1, that kid fumbled the kickoff that gave the Steelers the game. He's cut. Like, you see guys fuck up on defense, he brings them over and talks to them. He's having these guys be accountable. And I just don't see that from the Dolphins. I think Fields or Tyrod, whoever's going to play, is going to be able to extend plays. I don't think you guys have anyone to match up with Garrett Wilson. So, look, dude, I'm taking it, man. Jets.
I go to bed now?
You can go to bed now, man. You can go to bed.
No, I mean, it's hard to argue anything right now other than, the Dolphins totally should have beat the Patriots. I mean, an inch away from being out of bounds. And, that didn't help the cause. And that would have been a huge win because now we have the Jets, which should win. And we have, I believe, Carolina right after this. So it was like a nice stretch. Like, even if we were able to somewhat pull – and I don't think we played terrible against the Bills, first of all. I'll say that. I had the Dolphins +7 in the first half. I sprinkled their money line first half. So, that pushed. I don't think they played terrible versus them. And they show, like, glimpses of what their potential is. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said they had their shit together right now. Like, they don't. I never wanted to re-sign Tua anyway. Like, when we paid him, I was like, what are we doing here? So many quarterbacks were on the market, and I think we went over this when we covered the AFC East, show, where we kind of gave a preview of what we thought was going to happen in this division. I believe you said the Jets were going to win it or some crazy shit.
I think the Jets were going to finish second.
Second, yeah. That doesn't look too great either, buddy. All right,
they can still finish second.
Yeah, they can. So could the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm just saying they could. My prediction could still come true.
Yeah, you're right.
Any
prediction could still come true right now.
Another thing is the whole focal point of your offense is Achane, and especially out of the backfield. Jets are top 12 defending running backs in the passing game. I just think the Jets are going to be able to make Miami more uncomfortable than Miami's able to make the Jets, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you made it and we talked about it. You said during the preview show, the worst thing that could happen was your team, the Dolphins, make the playoffs. You have to give the 2 of that extension.
Yeah,
now,
what, 3 years ago?
Yeah. Now you kind of think about it. I think that's why the Panthers don't want to make the playoffs, because they don't want to give Bryce Young the extension. It's going to be really interesting to see. Like, if you're the Texans, like we talked about the Texans with your bet with the Titans, like right now, what do you do with CJ Stroud?
Yeah. Well, we'll say,
You know what I mean?
There's
Like,
still a lot of season to go, but yeah, I mean, he was the man his rookie year, and like what happened after that?
I mean, like, dude, they were in position last year to beat the Chiefs on the road in the wild card division or whatever. No, they beat the Chargers, and then they
went to the.
So they're in a position to win that. It's just really interesting, like these quarterbacks, and like Trevor Lawrence. I wasn't the biggest Liam Cohen guy, but dude, seeing him bitch out Trevor Lawrence for sucking
absolute ass
makes me love him. He's one of my favorite coaches now. And I heard someone else say this. Should Trevor Lawrence just go back to Clemson to make everything right in the world? You know what I mean? Clemson's sucking balls now, and I don't know, man. But no, it's an interesting week. Weeks like these, I absolutely love. I think there's some great value on the board. Jake, I always appreciate you coming on, dude.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
We got casually just going over an hour and 15 minutes. Always flies by when you come on. Absolutely appreciate you coming on. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media and everything you do, my friend?
Yeah, just over on X or Twitter or whatever you guys want to call it these days, at MoneyBadgerBets. We have a Discord. I share some plays for free every single day. All my plays in the Discord. It's like $20 a month. There's other cappers in there. There's a nice little community. We share a bunch of nice little intel and early picks, future picks, live bets. So feel free to hop in there for a month if you want to give it a try. But yeah, only on X. All I need is X. So or Twitter, whatever. That's where you can find me.
Make sure to give this man a follow. We are going to be back next week with Bryce from the IDNet Sports Pod, which should be a fun podcast if the Chiefs lose, because he is the ultimate Chiefs homer. So if the Chiefs lose, it should be a good one. Tune in for that. Give that man a follow. Follow him in his Discord. Best of luck in your bets, and I'll be talking a lot of shit to you on Monday night, my friend.
All right. I'll send you a video. See ya.